The sun was setting in the streets of Lahore. The hustle and bustle of the market was slowly fading. The shadows of the day trees stretched long across the ground, and every shopkeeper was busy closing their shop. Among these markets lived a merchant named Arif. Arif owned a large clothing business. Every morning his shop was crowded with people. Colorful silk fabrics, precious turbans, and garments embroidered with golden threads. People called him a successful merchant, but behind his success was a secret that very few knew. Arif often reduced the weight of the clothes, raised the prices, and mixed his merchandise. When a simple customer came, Arif would smile and say, "Dear sir, this fabric is special for you. I swear you won't find anything better in the whole city." The poor customers, trusting his words, paid extra. Arif kept taking false oaths, thinking everything was justified. One day, a poor traveler came to the shop. He wore old clothes, and dirt on his hands and exhaustion on his face were clearly visible. He picked up a piece of fabric and quietly said, "Sir, it's my daughter's wedding. I don't have much money, but if you could give this fabric for a little less, it would help me greatly." Arif smiled and said mockingly, "Dear sir, this is a market, not a place for charity. If you want the fabric, pay the full price, otherwise move along." The traveler said helplessly, "Allah sees everything, brother. Whatever you sell less today will come back to you tomorrow." Hearing this, Arif snapped, "If Allah were to take account, the whole market would stop. Don't preach to me." The traveler left with tears in his eyes. A nearby apprentice witnessed the scene and whispered, "Master, isn't this cruelty? The poor man only asked for help for his daughter's wedding." Arif glared at the apprentice angrily and said, "Be quiet. If you show softness in business, the shop will never survive. Understood?" Time passed, and Arif's wealth grew rapidly. A new house, luxury everywhere, and prestige. But in his heart, there was a strange restlessness. He would toss and turn at night, often telling his wife Fatima, "I don't know why I have so much wealth, yet my heart feels heavy." Fatima would often reply, "Perhaps this wealth brings restlessness. Give charity, help the poor, share what Allah has given." But Arif's heart had hardened. He would say, "Fatima, this is all the result of my hard work, no handouts. If I didn't work, how would I get all this?" One day, a strange event shook the city. Arif's warehouse suddenly caught fire. The piles of valuable clothing were reduced to ashes within moments. People watched from a distance. Some said it was an accident. Others said it was Allah's wrath. Arif screamed as he saw his burning merchandise. "Oh no, my goods, my hard work, all destroyed." A nearby mystic spoke in a low voice, "This fire is not of the clothes, but of your intention. Ill-gotten wealth never lasts." Arif glared at the mystic and shouted, "Be quiet. These are the words of envious people. Allah gave me all this, and I am certain He will give again." But from that day on, Arif could not sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw flames consuming his warehouse, and sometimes the traveler's voice echoed, "Allah is watching, brother." The apprentice's question also haunted him, "Master, isn't this cruelty?" After the fire, Arif's condition became like that of a wounded bird. Day and night he was immersed in thoughts of ruin, yet his pride remained intact. In the mornings, sitting in his shop, he would tell customers, "The fire was an accident. Allah has given, so He will give again. My business is not small. Watch, I will rise again." But when night fell and the lamps flickered in the darkness, he would toss and turn in bed, gripped by a strange fear. It felt as if the traveler's words echoed in his ears, "Allah is watching, brother." Fatima often sat with him, gently saying, "Arif, this did not happen without reason. When wealth brings unease, it has no blessing in it. Give in Allah's way. to the poor. Perhaps peace will come. But Arif would angrily reply, Fatima, the world runs on business. If I keep giving away everything, how will the children eat? And how will the house run? A quiet sadness would spread across Fatima's face. She knew her husband's heart was locked, a lock that only time could open. People in the city also began talking differently. When Arif walked through the streets, some would whisper, "Isn't this the one whose warehouse caught fire?" Others said, "Yes, they say he used to cheat with his fabrics. All his ill-gotten wealth has burned." Arif would hear these whispers silently. His heart would drink from the cup of pain, but on his lips remained the same words. "It's all lies. People are just envious." Days passed, and things grew worse. New orders stopped coming, and old customers began avoiding him. One day, an old friend came to the shop and said, "Arif, people say your fabrics are adulterated. You take false oaths, and now no one trusts you. It's better to embrace the truth." Arif's face flushed. In a harsh tone, he said, "Are you my friend or enemy? If you want to help, do it. Otherwise, keep your advice to yourself." The friend left silently, but his words pierced Arif's heart like arrows. That night, he stayed awake again. Sometimes he dreamt of the burning warehouse, sometimes of the traveler's tearful eyes. Every time he closed his eyes, it felt as if someone whispered, "Arif, this fire is of your own making." Months after the fire, the atmosphere at home changed. Where once laughter echoed, now there was a strange silence. Fatima's face always carried worry. The dishes were simple. Where once the aroma of meat filled the dining area, now only lentils and bread arrived, the children eating with quiet hope. One day, Fatima softly said, "Arif, the children's shoes are worn out. Make some arrangements." Arif proudly replied, "You women only worry about this. I know what to do. Wait a few more days. Everything will be fine." But the truth was, no customers came to the shop. From noon to evening, not a single fabric sold. Arif's false oaths and ill-gotten gains had destroyed his business. The children often asked him, "Father, when will we get new clothes like other children? We want new clothes too." Arif's heart broke, but pride did not allow him to bend. He would say, "There is no need for new clothes. For now, you make do with these." At night, Fatima would often stay awake, watching the children, quietly praying to Allah. "O Allah, have mercy on our situation. What crime are these innocent ones paying for?" Months later, things worsened. The rent for the shop could not be paid, and people in the neighborhood were talking. Old friends avoided him. People whispered, "This is the man who cheated people with false promises. Look at his fate now." Arif was breaking from the inside. Finally, he looked up at the sky and whispered, "O Allah, I have wasted my life in falsehood. Forgive me. Grant me the truth that brings respect. From today, I will live according to the principles of Islam." Thus, Arif's story ends with a bitter lesson. Lies may provide temporary benefit, but ultimately they destroy a person's dignity and peace. Truth is like a tree that gives shade and fruit. If you like this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment below what lesson you learned from Arif's journey.